Hi, my name is Jake McCauley. Ever since I was a very young person, I've always had issues with learning how to read. I actually, in the first and second grade, when people would break off to read books, the only way I kind of understood what was happening was just by looking at the pictures and making guesses of what would happen. And then I soon would be diagnosed with dyslexia. But one of the things I was particularly good at was mathematics. And so I remember the teacher would give us a sheet of math, and I would be able to finish it within like 60 seconds and be the fastest kid in the class understanding the math. But I was absolutely clueless with learning how to read. Eventually I received a lot of help, and particularly with the efforts of my mom. Each day we would start learning how to read together. To give context, I'm the youngest of 5 children, so you can imagine throughout a busy household where it's like just to carve out just a couple hours to work with one of your sons, to work on a major challenge of learning how to read and helping them get to that point. But I remember I was 7 years old, and we were driving through Cook Street. And before, when I saw signs, I had no idea what they meant. I kind of figured, based on the pictures, what they were about. But I remember we were driving through Cook Street, and I remember looking at the signs and just reading them out. Just as we went to be like, pick a flick, Starbucks, etc., etc. And I just remember like the whole world had opened up in that moment. And then I wasn't fearful of school anymore. I wasn't scared to go to school every day and being embarrassed, being viewed as like the stupid kid. So it was a really proud day for me. Eventually, all the difficulties of high school, I eventually got into university. I actually got into University Victoria in the economics program. I got into economics because I wanted to study how do we defeat poverty, and what are the barriers to that. And the only way to really understand that is looking at economic systems and what determines poverty. And then throughout that was my 4 or 5 years at UVic. I got to do some amazing experiences. I got to live in the Netherlands and study economics there. But in my final year, I got to complete my honors thesis project on terrorism and innovation. And if you told me when I was 7 years old, that 15 years later would be complete an honors thesis project and present to my profs, I wouldn't believe it.